What is up, y'all? How we doing? Is everybody feeling okay? You're looking good. I can tell you that. I like that haircut. That's new, right? Yeah, I like it. Looks good. You should keep doing that. Keep it nice and like that. Looks good. So we got this guy, I Show Speed, and apparently he's like unbelievably famous. I'd seen like a couple clips of him. One of which was kind of like responding to a street preacher. So he was kind of cool in my book, sort of just from the beginning, because he kind of, made this guy look like an idiot, or look like the idiot that guy was, who was trying to like just shame him and throw his religion on him and everything. Anyway, so, but apparently that dude, I Show Speed, he does these really incredible live streams. He goes all over the place. He did some kind of tour through Africa, right? And he just looks at all the cool stuff, live streams it and everything like that, right? Well, he goes to Namibia, and there we've covered it before. It's like this ritual of these cones with all these straw cone type things, and they dance, right? And so he went there, he live streamed himself seeing the it's the Himba tribe, by the way. But and he, went there, checked it out, like live streamed the whole thing and everything. And of course the Fundies freaked out, because of course they did. And they're like, he's doing demon stuff. There's demons in there, and blah, blah, blah. It's so scary. So I got to check it out. There's a couple of these. I don't know how many of them we're going to get to, but after that, I want to check out this deconstruction zone video that I've got planned. So a lot of fun stuff today. But we're going to get into it. I am Brentley. This is the Punk Apostate. Let's go. All right. Like I said, this is this dude reacting to I Show Speed, but he's going to explain it. And it's just funny, the level of absurdity coming out of these guys.
I Show Speed is going viral again. This time it's for participating in demonic African rituals.
Now, demonic African rituals. Wow. So he participated just to make it that much worse, He was helping the demons out in the ritual, I guess, or something.
I know that everybody's going to come for me in the comment section and say this isn't demonic, but they literally tell you that it's spirits doing these. Now,
so they literally tell you that it's spirits. That word doesn't automatically mean demon, right, dude? Like, this is a whole nother belief system. Your religion includes a spirit, one that's the Holy Spirit. Did you know that? You know that in your religion, the word spirit is attributed to one of the three versions of your one God for some reason, because you guys can't count. I don't know. I don't understand how logic works. But yeah, but he's like, instead they use the word spirit. It's a different language, man. It's a different religion.
I want to show you a few video clips, and then we're going to deep dive into what this actually is.
I want to see him open it, though. What's that? Yo! How is it moving like that?
The music.
Wait, how is this moving?
I love the little one. That was pretty cool. I don't know how they do the little one, but that's sure it's some kind of mechanism of some sort.
How is he moving?
He's moving it. Over here, big guy. No, stay. Can you stay by the big demon, little demon? Hey, what is it? The big demon's son? That's like, it's a father and son duo.
They're spirits?
I got a trick there.
Ah! It's a spirit in here. Nobody's in here. How are these moving like this? There's nobody in there.
You like open it up and like so you can peek. So much of this just feels like a magician, dude. Like when you go see like a magic show or whatever, you can't just go up to the box where the lady disappeared and just open up the box. Like, no, you hold up. I gotta open the box. Okay. No, I'm gonna do it for you. I'm gonna show you. Look. No, I have to open it. Because if we have to open the trap door first. Hold on. Because and of course in this ritual they have to have a specific person lift up the cone thing. Because clearly there's a particular way you have to lift it up so that it doesn't break the illusion.
Spirit is moving. That's a spirit.
I can kind of see why this guy's so popular. He's very expressive, you know.
There's nothing in there.
This dude has 50 million subscribers. I didn't even know that YouTube had any channel that had that many subscribers. Oh. His face is so good.
Now, those two are already messed up as it is, but this one right here,
What?
he's literally
It's messed up. What do you mean it's messed up?
like humping and grinding on this spirit right here. Now,
What? Wait, what? You're saying that he's humping this spirit? That's what's happening in this clip?
oh, watch this video clip, guys.
Okay. No, I get why you said that now. Yeah, take back my my sarcasm there. That would be the best way to accurately describe that. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
They even have a little flag in there. They got a little flag.
How you do that? He not human.
First of all, it's weird that this is a he
He's not human.
spirit and you're humping on it like that. Talking about how you do that, he not human.
Oh man, because you hate gayness that much. My God, I didn't even pay attention to the gender of like what he was saying. He's like, oh man, you were humping. Is that what I just got out of that? Wow, gay. Boy, I hate those gay people.
The things that these streamers do, the links that they go to go viral and to make money, man, just shows that they've sold their soul for fame, right? He has no cares about the repercussions, the ramifications of this, right? That this
Of what? Of what? You get to okay. Well, he doesn't. First of all, get that. That's not an actual spirit in there, dude. They're playing a show, and the person that's actually in there is quite, like a couple feet away from like where he's at. Just because he's like that close. It's a cone, man. There's quite a bit of room there. He's not like actually touching the demon.
ritual, he can come into agreement with some demonic spirits. Now let's go into detail about what this actually is. Okay.
Let's do it. Let's go into town with the Wikipedia or not even Wikipedia, the AI overview.
Okay, so I want to show you guys, this is what we're talking about. This thing right here, this is the spirit that Speed was just dancing with. So I want to read you what this says though. The Zangbeto are voodoo, night guardian spirits from West Africa, known for their rapid spinning and sometimes levitating dances. These figures, often covered in raffia straw, act as traditional police or protectors of the community, appearing to move independently to maintain social order and ward off evil. The Zangbeto.
Oh man, their dance it helps to maintain social order. That's interesting. Like anybody gets out of order, you don't want a cone of a gyrating cone coming after you, dude. That's a bad day for everybody. Just keep it real and stay in line.
Known as men of the night or night guardians, these spirits are central to voodoo culture, often performing at festivals to demonstrate spiritual power by spinning violently and, according to belief, possessing no human inside. Kumpo, an ancestral spirit that appears as a
Wait, what does it say? Known often called the holy dance, based on rapidly performance. A still walking spirit dancer, often referred to as a dancing ghost, who protects village. Yeah, and like I said, there's like we've watched it before on this channel where there's a video that like breaks down how they do it. They are very you know, I mean, it's a ritual for their culture and everything. So they're not going to just explain how they do everything, you know, because they want to, you know, they want to keep the illusion alive, you know, because it's fun. It brings people to their place, and they, you know, it's just an interesting part of their culture and everything. So they're not going to just expose how they do everything. But when there were people like skeptics that went to went and saw that exact same show, you could slow down the camera. They like filmed it, and you could slow down the camera and you can see where the person is. The problem is all of those like cords, those like things that are like hanging down everywhere, because there's so many of them, your eyes can't focus and distinguish the person that's inside there wearing a suit with those on it, by the way. So it's really difficult to like visually parse out where the person is because they blend literally right in. But they also clearly have like a little pocket where they can kind of hide in when they lift it up. But when they were showing the video, you could yeah, you could see like how like where the person was. It was like they would do the dance and everything, and when they slowed it down, you could see their feet, you know, and their feet were like covered with those little cords and everything. But and there's also they have like a cone that they are using in the dance that is also they are also spinning. So they have something that they're holding in their hands and they're using it to like spin. So it creates this elaborate illusion where you can't really focus up on like where on like what's going on. It's really cool. It's an awesome little illusion there, but that's all it is. It's an illusion, you know. And all it took was somebody like slowing down the video to be able to see it. But you know, of course, to these geniuses, it's all oh man, it's an actual demon, blah, blah, you know. But it's absurd. So funny. But of course, they got to freak out about it because it's African. First of all, that's the real crime. Is just going to Africa at all, because they got demons all over the place. You know, have you heard about the drums that bring the African spirits, the African demons? That's right. I remember hearing about that when I was a kid. Like some churches don't have drum sets because they bring up demons from Africa.
Costume figure made of palm leaves performing mesmerizing and sometimes uncontrollable fast-paced dance. The Zaulu.
Hey, Dr. Kip and Bree and Dr. Bent got 2 doctors in the live chat right now. That's crazy. And Bree, which she's kind of a doctor of bugs, if you think about it. But then we also got Blood Badge. What's up, dude? And who won today? Let me see. Let me just go to the top. We're pretty new here. We're just new here. Just started. Pandora, what's up, dude? Hell yeah. Pandora's back on top. That's right. Killing it up there too, by the way. Looking great. Love it.
I don't know how you pronounce these words, guys. Often called the holy dance. Nothing holy about this at all.
It's holy to them, dude. Holy shit. Different culture. Different culture. I'm sure they'd say the same thing about you pretending to eat your God.
Mass-based, rapid-footed performance that is believed to require possession by spirits, guys, to execute its complex, fast movements. And the Moko Jumbi.
See that? I think that's a different one. The Zeuli. This is what I'm saying. I think the AI is messing up. Or it's just not perfect, whatever. But Zeuli is like another one that's similar. And that I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's like where they do the really, really fast dance. And it's incredible. Honestly, it's really cool to look at. They're like, it's like they look like they're just almost lifting up off the ground because it's so fast the way that they kick their feet and everything. But you know, again, I saw another guy do a video about that one, saying that see the demons are helping him move his feet. You can't move your feet that fast. It's impossible. Demons, that's how.
Stilt walking spirit dancer, often referred to as a dancing ghost who protects villagers from evil. So this is what we're working with right here. These demonic figures, these
yeah, the bird dance. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. What's up, Ed Chair? How we doing? And Felicia, what's up? We're gonna be hanging out next weekend? Yeah, next Sunday. I think we're gonna be hanging out with Felicia. What's up?
No, there's no way I can.
And Jasper. Sorry. Hey, what's up? What's up?
Explain it other than demonic. And here's the problem when it comes.
It's great. I can't explain it other than demonic. Dude, you gotta get some better options in your brain. There's just you could have just stopped. I can't explain it. end there. That's okay. You're allowed to not explain everything. The reasonable way to think about this is not, well, then the next step is demons. I can't figure it out. Demons. That's how this has to go.
Down to this ancestral worship. You want to worship the gods of your ancestors. You want to worship what these African, cultures are doing, these demonic things, and you guys
they got nothing, dude. All these guys, they're different, weird, demonic, bad. You want to worship what they're doing? Worship what they're doing. What?
When you come into agreement with this, you open yourself up for some demonic activity to wreak havoc in your life. I know that ancestral worship is so popular right now. I know that serving the gods of our forefathers is so popular right now.
Yeah, it's sort of isn't that what you're doing in your, in America, in your country? You're like worshiping the god of your parents, or no? Were your parents a different religion? I highly doubt it.
But this stuff right here, it's literally telling you what it is. It's possession of spirits to do these things. And when you see stuff like this doesn't give me any comfort. Like, this is creepy looking. Now, I know that we are not given a spirit of fear, but at the same time, why do I want any parts of this? I know
that sounds like you are given a spirit of fear. It seems actually like that's your religion's whole bag, man. It's just you're afraid of everything that isn't your specific bloodthirsty religion for whatever reason.
That my identity is in Christ, right? I know that I'm protected by the blood of Jesus.
Oh, let me see if this really dance. He said it's let me see if I can click this. I don't know as if I've ever tried this before. You can put links in the fuck, I can't. Okay. Damn. All right. See, this is probably why people use the other apps for streaming. Okay, let me but I can put it in here. Go ahead. We'll keep watching this for a minute and see if I can.
But tell me this don't look demonic with the white paint on, trying to look more like.
Yeah, white paint always is. That's what I think of. White paint, demonic. What else could I think when you see that? What the hell are you talking about, dude?
Like a skeleton than anything. This is definitely voodoo.
It does not look like a skeleton. What? White paint doesn't equal skeleton, dude. Like, just getting the color the same.
Get to know voodoo's whirling spirit dance. No, thank you. No, thank you. Now, some of the heritage, like just this African dancing and stuff right here, like it looks okay, but at the same time, like.
So where's the line, buddy? Like, where does the line exist? You're like, so, okay, some of the African dancing, that's fine. That's okay. But once I can't figure out what they're doing, demonic. That's my line, is I can't figure it out, demons. There we go.
I'm not getting behind none of that either, man. I'm an American, so that's what my culture is. I'm from America. I'm a child of God. I don't worship in my ancestral roots. I don't worship my skin color. I don't.
Yeah, you do. You don't worship. What about Father Abraham? Isn't he part of the line? Like, he's all of our fathers according to your beliefs, dude. So that's kind of like that, right?
Don't put anything above Christ, right? But for I Show Speed to be out here doing this stuff, it's crazy.
You're just saying too, like the other night we had a freaking blast over on Dr. Ben's channel. If you're not subscribed over there, you got to check it out. He does trivia every Friday night at 9:30. And oh my God, that's, I can't make it very often because of the headache I get the next day. Because if I start having fun, it's like the drink, the elbow bends quadruple for some reason. I don't know. And so then, well, it just gets crazy. But yeah, we had a blast. It was super awesome. Got to meet Chad from, it was Chad Harris from the Happy Shiny People documentary that was on Netflix, which is really odd to be like watching a documentary on Netflix and then be having some drinks with them and Dr. Ben for a trivia night. It was great. We had a blast. And we have a very similar story, so that was kind of cool too, because he was just like me, like, I don't know, it's Hopskull, like, which is my answer for not knowing all the trivia questions too. And so I felt good. I really saw eye to eye with that guy. And yeah, we had a blast. But anyway.
Oh my God! Oh my God! How you do that? He not human.
I just wanted to show you guys again what he's playing with, what he's not taking seriously.
Oh,
And
he's not taking it seriously enough. You do not hump male demon. Now, if it was a female demon, then that would have been like at least 50% better. But you know,
and he's doing this all for clicks and views, you know. And at the end of the day, man, it is what it is, man. That's his right.
Yeah,
That's his, you know,
it is.
lackadaisical, flippant attitude. He can have that, right? But we know better. Now,
sounds like you know worse, buddy. Okay, you're just kind of freaking out over nothing, but and then acting like you know better than everybody that's not freaking out over nothing.
I don't claim any negative energy from this video. As I said, I'm a child of God. I'm protected under the blood of the Lamb. I'm not really truly worried about that sort of thing. But
That's as all people that are not worried about things say how much they're not worried about the things that they're not worried about.
for those of you that see this sort of thing and then you just laugh it off because, you know, Speed's out here mocking it or whatever, you know, because a lot of people don't know he's just out here mocking, doing whatever he can do.
Mocking, like he's just having fun, dude. Damn, like y'all need to learn that like life is all about experience, you know, just living the life that you have, right? Enjoying it, just suck it all up. Every experience, man, every interaction with people, like just be there, be present for those interactions, for those times. Enjoy, experience it, you know. Jesus Christ, it's like doing this shit where they take everything so seriously. It's like you're gonna wake up and your life's gonna be gone and you didn't do anything. You were terrified of everything and completely missed your entire life and vilified people that were out there enjoying life. Jesus, enjoy life, y'all. You know, suck up every experience. Be present for all of it.
For clicks and views and fame and notoriety. But at the end of the day, he's going to have to face Jesus on Judgment Day, just like everyone else is. And every knee will bow and every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. So you can play with this stuff if you want to. You can laugh it up and yuck with the homies and all that. But at the end of the day, you will come to know that Jesus is Lord. And all these false gods, this ancestral worship, all these other false religions, people, they're going to have to answer to Jesus for that too, right? So people out here doing these spirit,
they're going to have to answer. It's another one of those. They'll see one day when after they die, then they'll know that my religion's actually the right one. The Bible says they're going to figure it out one day. They'll know. Everybody will know that I'm right one day.
Dances and, you know, participating in all this, thinking,
oh, on Discord. Okay, cool. Let me see if I can get it.
That those things are what protects them, when really their protection should be coming from Jesus. What are you guys' thoughts on this? You think he's playing a dangerous game here, or do you think it's just not dangerous at all? Let me know, guys. That's going to do it for this one. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Until then, God bless.
Thanks, man. That was great. Very informative. You know, I feel like I learned so much from that one video.
I Show Speed participated in a demonic ritual during his African tour.
Another one? Hold on. And it's weird too that it's like all black guys that are doing. Like, remember, Africans bad, right? But
okay, and
you got to do the Christian religion, not whatever evil stuff they got going on over there. You know, they conjure up demons from Africa when you have drums playing, right? You know that?
I'm kind of surprised how many people are not speaking about this, although these videos have gotten millions and millions of views.
So I think somebody is speaking about it, just not the people you watch, I guess.
I want to show you guys how this is demonic and also how this is tied to demonic worship that even celebrities are involved in. Okay, let's hop into this video, watch it, and react to it.
What? That even celebrities are into? What does that mean?
Before we do me a quick favor. Hit that like button for that.
Oh, yeah, if you want to, hit that like button, that'd be great. I'd appreciate. Thanks for reminding me, bud. I always forget. But yeah, likes, subscribes, all that fun stuff. I'd appreciate it. All right, moving on. What's up, Theo? How we doing, dude?
The algorithm so that this video can reach more people like yourself. I truly appreciate you.
Well, it already reached me, dude.
Guys, let's hop in.
He's moving. Wait, how they moving?
Now the little one is interesting. I seriously don't know how to do that one. And I don't remember seeing that the last time that I watched the video when they went in and investigated how this all works. But yeah, I'm sure it's some kind of little mechanism in there or something.
Are these robots?
Are these robots? Yeah, no, they're not robots. Like a magician's box, you know, like a mirror, like the mirror box where you can't tell that the thing's empty because the person went to the other side of the mirror.
They're spirits?
Clearly Disney animatronics, you know. I've seen those exact things in the Pirates of the Caribbean, you know. It was just the Caribbean version of those things.
What the heck? Oh my God!
See, there's something. They got something going, because that one clearly doesn't move nearly as fluid as the big one there. But that's pretty about it.
What the? No!
You can tell he's like a gamer, like, you know what I mean, like gamer streamers or whatever. They're just so animated, you know. Everything they say is like big, like, wow, oh my God, like I jumped over your head, you know, and you get all worked out. But so it's kind of fun that he took that same energy and went across Africa with it.
How is it moving like that? Oh no, buddy!
Yes, traditional African robots. That's right. That's the kind of robots there. Oh, they're doing an arm dance now. Wing dance.
Okay, so this
That's
is
right.
the Zang Beto dance. We've seen many videos. I've seen these videos for years. It's involved in West African voodoo worship, okay? Witchcraft, demonic worship. A lot of people say, well,
Demonic worship, voodoo worship, demon stuff, dude.
there's been people that have been exposed, and there were people inside of these created things, right?
The hay created thing. That's actually what I was calling them.
But there is a lot of videos that actually show no one inside of them, but these strange dolls that are inside of them that are making these things move. And I'm gonna show you that video too. I just want to say this for Christians as well. I don't think that any of this is going to cause demonic entities to jump on you or to follow you or anything like that. I don't believe.
I love how they have to like put that little caveat there. It's okay watching this video, guys. I know, we all know the demons travel via video. When you watch stuff about Africans, the demons then jump out of the screen into your brain. But remember, you don't have to worry about that because of the blood and guts and entrails of the carpenter that was torture murdered by his loving dad, so that he can forgive people. The normal religion, that's remember, so you don't have to worry about the evil dancing demons of the religion where people worship their ancestors like crazy people.
That any of these demons have any power, any more power than what we have, because we have the Holy Spirit. So the Bible says,
damn, I'm not logged into my Discord. Okay. I'll have to check it out probably after, because I gotta do a whole thing trying to remember my password and all that crap.
greater is him that is in us than he that is in the world. So I don't think watching this is going to cause any of that. Okay. But
oh my God, it literally is. It's like, it's cool. You guys are Christians. So oh my Lord.
I do want to show you, this is him actually dancing with these demonic spirits. That's what I'm going to call them, demonic spirits. Okay.
I'm not scared. You're the ones that are scared of it. That's, you know, I've got Jesus's blood just all over my face. So I'm good. They can't jump through Jesus' blood, bro.
Let's look at this. And then I have some other videos proving that this is actually like real demonic stuff happening. All right, let's go ahead and
actually real demonic stuff happening. Okay. Got it.
hop in.
Not a dog one?
I remember when I first saw these videos, I used to think that it was all fake as well. This video right here, I don't know how if this is fake, it would be impossible for them to pull this off. Okay, it looks real. I think it's real. I think there's real demonic work.
It looks real. Therefore, that's all I got. I'm like, what does it look like? Does it look real? Well, then it's real.
Worship. I think there are real demons involved in this. The reason I say that is because of the religion that this is in is tied to the Yoruba religion, which a lot of celebrities are involved in. Celebrities like Skrilla, in the Ocean and Orishan religion. Beyonce's sister is in this. Solange Knowles, Taraji P. Henson, someone who was pretty much saying that she was getting blacklisted in Hollywood, not getting the money that she was worth, although she was putting in a lot of work. And she was crying out to the Hollywood executives, all of a sudden takes a trip to Bali, a spiritual trip to Bali, and then starts to talk about African deities and spiritual worship involving the Yoruba religion. And then she gets the BET Awards in 2024.
Yeah, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, that religion is like one of the oldest that at all. Like it's something like 3,000 years old. It's like really, really old. Or I think it was like 5,000. Anyway, it's really old. Like, it's one of the earliest religions on record.
There's a lot of celebrities that are into this worship, and I believe it's real. I believe that what they are doing is truly demonic. It's not a god that is.
It's crazy too. Like, you hear his brain like shut down. Like, he goes like, because it sounds like he's trying to explain why he thinks it's real, right? And when he's doing that, like when he's explaining like why he thinks it's real, he's not even addressing evidence or anything even close to that. He's just like, I think it's real. And then he goes on something about celebrities. He's like, I think it's real because celebrities, they're into it. So that lends credence to the plausibility of this religion. What the fuck? What does that have to do with anything? Like, why are you convinced this is true based on like actual evidence? He's got nothing. He doesn't even think that way. No, that's not even how his brain adjusts to like tell if something is actually true or not. It's amazing. My goodness.
In the sense of Jesus Christ and Yahweh, but they're lowercase gods, as in demons. Okay, let me show you this real quick.
Lowercase gods, as in demons. We just decide that other cultures' stuff is demons, because any like other religions aren't allowed to be. They're not allowed to exist without being literally demonized by us, the Christians. Like, it's xenophobic racism, bro. That's it. That's all this is. Oh yeah, Bree. Bree said, "I love this, by the way, right up my alley." Hell yeah! Oh, you got to cover this. I feel like you would do so well with this. Oh yeah, love it when you debunk stuff like this on because Bree does a Saturday show. If everybody's not familiar, it's you gotta go check it out at Hiveside. Check it out. It's awesome. Oh, okay. Beyonce knows too much. She does. Wait, is it? Oh, Beyonce Knowles. Who is that? Is that Michael Knowles? Did she marry Michael Knowles? Beyonce married Michael Knowles. That seems like something she wouldn't do. But if they did get married, that kid, well, he would be the best dancing, most talented musically asshole of all time.
There's a lot of people, even some Christians, that think that this kind of worship is not demonic and that it's just ancestral spirituality. But the truth about it is that you're not worshiping ancestors. Ancestors are not guiding you. Those are demons. Okay.
Oh my God.
Demons are.
Why do they have to like implement? Why do they have to like implant their religion into everybody else? Like it always feels like other people's beliefs make them so insecure about their own that they have to be like, no, my beliefs are the true kind. Like, why can't people just have beliefs, dude? Like, why can't they just do their thing and you do your thing and everybody just be like, yeah, whatever, we're all doing our things? They can't. It's like they can't. They're too insecure about their shit. They need validation from literally everywhere. And so because of that, they have to vilify every other belief system in existence.
Fighting you. Your ancestors are dead. Okay. And whether or not they believed in Jesus Christ.
Really? They're dads. Are you sure? I thought maybe they were still kicking somewhere.
Christ, they're going to be in one or two places. And that's just the truth. Now I get it. Everyone's going to have their own.
It's literally not. It's literally not the truth. It's your beliefs. It's not the truth. There's a big difference between those two things.
On religion, but it's the goal of a Christian to call this stuff out, because some people may be confused and think that the stuff that's going on is godly, is good spiritual stuff, but in reality, it's demon worship.
Good spirit. The way he talks about it, they think it's good spiritual stuff, whatever, but it's not. It's bad stuff,
Okay. So it says, much like the saints of Catholicism, which
what
is already crazy in itself, the Yoruba
Catholicism, is that what you did he just think what did he call this
stuff, but in reality, it's demon worship.
Catholicism, that thing, that the one with the saints. Shut up. Okay, you heard it wrong. It's really the problem there.
Okay. So it says, much like the saints of Catholicism, which is already crazy in itself, the Yoruba.
It's crazy that you can't say Catholicism, but like, but that was great though. Keep saying it that way, actually, because I enjoyed that.
Orishas work as the intermediaries between men and the supreme creator and the rest of the divine world. While they often act on behalf of mortals, the Orishas sometimes work against humans and cause problems for them. There are a number of different kinds of Orishas in the Yoruba religion. Many of them are said to have been present when the
I see. He's reading. That's why, and it says that, much like the saints of Catholicism. You just read it wrong. Damn, I was hoping he didn't know that way. Because so the saints. I remember my mom saying she had a child that they lost like very early, my oldest brother, and she was saying about like how they would get all these letters in the mail from like Catholic churches and stuff, right? And Catholics, but she would get, that's funny. It's like, but she would get all of these letters in the mail from Catholic churches in the area, right? And they were asking her to send them money so that they could pray her unalived child that had just recently passed out of purgatory into heaven. But you had to pay them though. There's a fee for that sort of thing. They don't do that sort of thing for free. They could just hear about this sort of thing happening, since somehow they knew about it enough to be able to get her address and send her letters, and just do it, just pray to those saints. So they would, no, this is a business model that you got to send us money, and then we'll send your child spirit into heaven. Crazy. So, that is pretty sick, but yeah. But I don't know how it got onto that, but that was just felt similar, kind of. But, all right.
The world was created, and others were once human but transcended into a state of semi-divine existence. Some Orishas,
they were once human, and they transcended, dude. Hell yeah, that's gonna be the next. That would be a good Marvel character, right?
Does appear in the form of a natural feature, rivers, mountains, trees, and other environmental markers. The Orishas exist in a way much like human beings. They party, eat, and drink, love, and marry, and enjoy music. In a way, the Orishas serve as a reflection of mankind itself.
Hell yeah, dude. They're party spirits. They're the party animal spirits, bro. They're just out there with their Hawaiian shirts on, right? Just having a blast.
So that's why they believe that these
drinking their spirits, right? Their spirits, drinking spirits. Wow.
Inside of these Zengbedo,
foolish ass if they're Nephilim. I'm kind of surprised neither one of these, right? Clearly they're Nephilims. Everything is Nephilims that these people see. It's a slavery. Oh, those are the Nephilims that we're waiting for to see. Like, Nephilims are coming at some point. So I just see Nephilims everywhere. It's like so weird. And Dr. Kip, am I saying is the plural of Nephilim Nephilims, or is it still Nephilim? You know, like octopus. Is octopus right? Oh wait, what's the word where it's the same? You know what? I can't think of a good. You know what I mean? There's an example somewhere of the word being the same. Yeah.
Forms or things, they believe that there's something in there, something real, and it could possibly be something real, but it's not what you think it is. If there is something in there, it's definitely demonic. It is not an ancestor. It's not some type of it's not a god, as in the one and true God. The only thing that
No, because they don't believe in just one God, dude. They believe in a bunch of gods, like your Old Testament does. Funnily enough,
this could possibly be is something that was created long ago, which are angels who rebelled against God. And those angels
what did you
created
just say? That were built against God? That's not right. That's not even biblical.
the only thing that this could possibly be is something that was created long ago, which are angels who rebelled against God.
Oh, rebelled. Okay, I didn't hear that right. Thought he said built, that were built against God. What?
And those angels created children with women called the Nephilim, and the Nephilim
Oh my
died.
good God damn it. Fuck, unbelievable. Never mind. I guess, take back everything I said. We got there. Y'all, maybe we should start drinking every time they say Nephilim. Maybe that could be our new drinking word. Jesus. Oh, thank you, Kip. Dr. Gibson. No, the singular is Nephil. Oh, interesting. So hold on, let me put that up on the screen. No way. That's so funny. Let me put this up. So the singular is Nephil. The plural is Nephilim. I don't think there are any instances of the singular form, though. Huh. That's fascinating. Okay, so it's not. So it's not Nephilims. I gotta stop saying that. That's. I think it just makes it sound extra silly when they're all afraid of things called Nephilims, because no matter how you slice it, that word does not sound scary at all. It's just that I don't know what it sounds like. Nephilim sounds like a food. You go into the restaurant and you go, "Can I get some of your Nephilim?" Oh, I saw the Nephilim. I could smell it when I came in the door, and I've been craving some Nephilim, and boy, I would love a slice. I guess it's something that you could slice.
A long time ago, and the Nephilim are what we call demons, and these demons is what they worship. I do want to say that
What? That's not even right, dude. Like, again, it's like he doesn't even know his own beliefs. What the hell is he talking about? Hold up.
and the Nephilim died, angels who rebelled against God.
Uh-huh.
And those angels created children with women called
Okay, just say
the
it.
Nephilim.
I'm just not paying as close attention as I should be. But yeah, that's great.
And the Nephilim died a long time ago, and the Nephilim are what we call demons, and these demons is what they worship.
Now that I don't think that's right, like that part. So he's still wrong, because it's like, no, what they're talking about are these beings or whatever that were gods. Really, they weren't demons. They were gods. They were lesser gods or whatever, or like just other pagan gods that had slept with women, because that used to be a very normal idea that people had, gods that would sleep with humans, and they had kids. And the kids that they had were giants, right? And the giants, those were the Nephilim. They're not demons, though, as far as I understand. They're meta humans or whatever, like Aquaman, right? Half. That's weird that's like the best example I can think of, but half god, half human. Hercules, I guess that's another good one. Right? They're like these demigods. That's the word. Not meta-human. That's DC version of demigods. But yeah, it's not what he's saying. They're not just demons because Like, if the demons like had sex with women and then just had demons as kids, they're not any different. They're just demons. Like, what? That doesn't make any sense. They would make something new, right?
I do want to say that I show Speed. Okay, I don't hate him. I'm not hating on him. Okay, I understand that he has a lot of fame that he's grown from.
50 million subscribers, and I could see why. He uses his money wisely when it comes to streaming.
His days of doing streaming and stuff like that, but I do feel like we have to call this stuff out. And I show Speed, just because he has a large following and he's traveling the world and everyone's watching him, does not mean he's different from any other human being, and that every knee shall bow and every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord.
Knees don't bow, bub. Okay, they don't. That would be a knee breaking if it bowed. They bend the opposite way that it would bend. If it bows, you've broken both your legs.
One way or another. And so I believe that it's important, again, to remind.
I love that too, because they're like, every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess. The insecurity verse of the Bible where they're like, you'll see, everyone's going to talk about how true my beliefs are. One day you'll see, all you will see, you'll all see.
Speed, that there is an afterlife, and that this life is only temporary, and the things of this world is only temporary. And I'm saying all that because I Show Speed had a confrontation with the pastor.
Just call him Speed for short, okay? Calling him I Show Speed, it feels weird. He's Speed, okay?
Years ago, or maybe a year, maybe 2 years. And he completely neglected this conversation. And I believe that every time that someone...
What's up, Dave? How we doing, man? So why is he singling out I Show Speed anyway? Because he went to Africa and everybody knows demons are over there or something, maybe.
Who is not living for Christ, who is rejecting Christ. I believe that every time they have a conversation with someone trying to reel them in, that's an opportunity that God has placed in their life.
What? I show hash browns with breakfast sausage. What? What is that? Okay, you accidentally hit paste from some kind of website you were trying to look at before about the menu of a diner in your area. Is that what happened here? I'm very confused.
For them to see the truth, for everyone to come to the knowledge of the truth, as it says in the Word of God. And I want to show you that interaction that he had with this pastor. Okay, let's check it out.
Okay.
See, here we get to learn stuff too. This is my favorite part. Let me put this up. So Aunt Jared asked what syllable is the emphasis on, right? And Dr. Clip said the emphasis in the singular form is probably on the first syllable, ni. So it's ni, so, like that. That's how you say it. Ni, so, like that. In the plural, it shifts to the end of the word, nifil them, like that. And you really want to kind of hop with it. It kind of helps, it emphasize anyway. But nifil them, like that. That's how you say it. Just want to make that clear. But no, that is really interesting though. I love this type of shit. So cool.
Are you a Christian?
Here it
Am I a
is.
Christian?
See, this is what I was talking about. Oh my God. See, I didn't watch any of these. I literally just found this story and watched like 2 seconds of each video. And I was like, all right, this is what we're doing. But this is what I was talking about, where the dude got stopped by some dickhead apologist in the street, just giving him a hard time.
Okay. See, that's a very, great.
Wait, what is it?
With
Oh, he didn't even.
this pastor. Okay, let's check it out.
He like took
Okay.
out half of it.
Are you a Christian?
Am I a Christian? Okay. See, that's a very, great question. You know what I'm saying? But let me ask you this. Okay?
No. Answer the question first. It's a
Okay.
great question because a Christian is someone that's repented of their sins,
Why you always
that doesn't support sexual immorality, that's not walking for fame, but living for Jesus. Someone who's denied themselves, pick up their cross daily and follow him. I'm not against You
Like, okay, so this guy doesn't want to listen to me at all, it seems here. He kind of just wants to do some. He's very comforting. Is what he's doing right now.
trying to make money
Okay, all
or
right,
making
all
good
right,
music. But if you're a Christian, you need to repent of your sins. Otherwise, just like any person here, not just you, you find yourself in hell.
All right, okay, hold on, wait.
So are
Let me add this in real quick because I feel like I think people would want this clarity. Where it is? There we go. Oh, there it is. And of course, this is a bit speculative because there are no examples of the singular form in the scripture. So that is an important thing to remember when we're talking about the emphasis and which syllable the emphasis is on. Okay, so there we go.
you a
Hey, let me talk. All right.
Are you a Christian?
So listen,
Repent of
this is why I
your
love it.
sins. Otherwise, just like any person here, not just you, you find yourself in hell.
All right, okay, hold on, wait.
So are you a
Hey,
Christian?
let me talk. All right.
Are you a Christian?
Okay, first of all, I came here to see Ronaldo. I'm in Manchester right now. You're asking me questions about God, okay? You know, I love God, you know, but
Just if you're
I want
to know.
Hey, okay. Yeah, let me tell you this. Stop talking to me, sir. Have a nice day.
I thought so. What? I forgot that guy's name. What was his name? I show speed. He sped away very quickly when the truth of Jesus Christ was mentioned.
Oh my God, these people are so insufferable. And well, you know what? Most of my pronunciation is abysmal. Okay, I don't even know if I said abysmal right because that's how I don't pronounce correct. You know what? Now I'm all over analyzing each pronunciation.
Why couldn't he answer the question whether he was a
God damn it, Kevin. I don't know.
Christian? Why was he so quick to acknowledge, or rather affirm, that he could be gay for another man? You see, this man makes provocative videos, they say, for the attention, for whatever it is. His father's a Christian.
As the videos tend to be for people to pay attention to them. That's sort of built into the concept.
And he knows what the question was, and he could not answer it. He had to run because the Bible says light comes into the world.
See what I mean? They don't want to listen at all. Like he was actually going to like talk about like what God means to him and everything. And of course, this asshat has to like just like try to railroad. No. I decide what a Christian is. And I'm asking you if you're a Christian. I almost wish you'd have been like, okay, then no. The answer is no, because I'm not whatever the hell you think a Christian is. Okay. Jesus Christ.
Men loves darkness rather than light for fear that their deeds will be known. They would rather stay in the dark than into the light. We got to pray for I Show Speed and all the people. We got to pray because they're trading their soul. The Bible says.
Yeah. Hang on, date 7. It's pretty good. Let me put this up here. Hey, Kelly, how we doing? What's up? Where'd it go? I say, oh, there it is. This is a Christian, right? If you believe some dude named Jesus, considered by Christians to be the Messiah, lived 2,000 years ago and was crucified for the sins of humanity. That's, you know, if you believe that, that is a pretty good explanation, I'd say. To be fair, the word itself is abysmal at modern English dialects. So yeah, what she said there. Technically, there's not even a word for it because there isn't a singular. You know what? Never mind. We're gonna move on from this because I'm getting a little hot under the collar and not the sexy kind.
What will a man give in exchange for their soul?
Okay, so I want to show you guys this verse, 2 Peter 3.
Imagine watching that video and thinking that guy was the one that was that was the one that you should identify with, that he was the one that was the good moral soldier for Jesus or whatever. Like that's the guy that you want to be like, that you want to believe the stuff he believes. Holy Lord.
And I have to read a little bit because I think it's going to be helpful with what I'm trying to say. but it talks about the day of the Lord when Jesus when Jesus will
Amen.
judge the world. Okay. And let me read this to you real quick. It says, above all, you must understand that in the last days, scoffers will come, scoffing and following their own evil desires. They will say, where is this coming he promised? Ever since our
Goddamn right, this is where the cool kids are. This is the punk rock subculture table at lunch, you know, where all the punks, goths, and emo kids go. We let the emo kids come too. Okay. You know, it's fine.
ancestors died, everything goes on as it has since the beginning of creation. But they deliberately forget that long ago, by God's word, the heavens came into being, and the earth was formed out of water and by water. By these waters also the world of that time was deluged and destroyed. By the same word, the present heavens and earth are reserved for fire, being kept for the day of judgment and destruction of the ungodly. But do not forget this one thing, dear friends. With the Lord, a day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years are like a day.
Oh, no, thank you. Sounds like time would just be all over the. Is it like taking acid in heaven? Is that what has happened? Like, just time is just all over the place. It's like a dream, you know. That's like how time is there and on acid.
The Lord is not slow in keeping his promise, as some understand slowness. It says this: instead, he is patient with you, not wanting anyone to perish, but everyone to come to repentance. Okay. God does not want anyone to go to hell. He wants everyone to come to repentance.
Well, it's too bad. You know, he's not the one that made us to be able to go wherever the hell he wants us to go, being that he's in charge of the entire goddamn system. But, you know, he's doing that abuser shit. Hey, this is your fault. This is your fault. I don't want to have to beat you. Okay. But you are making me do it with your non-belief in what this guy over here is telling you need to believe. So sorry. Now I got to abuse you.
And that's why we see people that do, not saying that this is I show speed, but people that do very evil things, and they live long lives and they live prosperous lives. It's not that you are immediately struck down when you do evil, okay? But God is patient with everyone.
It's funny, that kind of reminds me of just give it, and this is like half, like what he's talking about here is like half of like why religion exists in the first place, right? Because they have to have some kind of like mental belief system that will provide justice at some point. Of course, it's like they're not seeing it. None of us see it because it doesn't exist. Powerful people get to do whatever the hell they want and harm people that don't have that power, and they get to live, you know, good, happy lives, whatever. But so the powerless, a lot of times we go, oh man, well then we got to have some kind of justice system that will kick in eventually. So like after that guy dies, oh boy, is he going to be in for it? You know, he doesn't even know. But it's just like, that's why we create stuff like this, to have some form of justice. It reminds me of like Trump, and it gives me so much pleasure in my heart right now that Trump, apparently he's been walking around telling people that he's not going to go to heaven. And I just love that he's thinking about that just a lot, you know. And he's like, I don't think I'm going to go to heaven. I really don't. I don't think I'm going to go there. I've been quite the bad guy, really, especially with all that PDF file stuff and the Epstein files and all that. Definitely not going to heaven. Nope, you're not, you know, I mean, because it doesn't exist. But that's beside the point. Still, be afraid of that place. And, you know, I love that he's thinking about that. Anyway, back to the fun.
Wanting everyone to come to a knowledge of the truth. The truth is Jesus Christ. Okay. It says, but the day of the Lord will come like a thief. The heavens will disappear with a roar. The elements will be destroyed by fire, and the earth and everything done in it will be laid bare. Since everything will be destroyed in this way, what kind of people ought you to be? You ought to live holy and godly lives as you look forward to the day of God and speed its coming. That day will bring about.
Oh my God. Is this all we're doing now? Is this the rest of it? Because we can go.
The destruction of the heavens by fire, and the elements will melt in the heat.
It's just, it's crazy that Christians can just do this. They can just watch like 2 clips and be like, now I'm just going to read an entire 7 chapters of the Bible. And Christian viewers like, this is great, man. What a good video. Boy, I really like that he read the Bible for like 17 minutes of that video.
But in keeping with his promise, we are looking forward to a new heaven and a new earth with righteousness, where righteousness dwells. Okay.
And you don't even have to read well. You know, you can be tripping over your words the whole time. It's crazy.
And I understand that if you are not Christian, you're not going to understand exactly what's taking place here.
It's not that we don't understand. It's pretty easy to understand. It's just nonsense. You know, it's not real. It's not going to happen. All this is bullshit.
But I'm trying to say, for those that may not understand what's taking place, that there's going to be a day where God judges the world. And in the time of Noah, there were many people that lived ungodly lives, and they laughed at Noah as he was building a boat because it did not rain until the rain came. And
I want to ask that. Is that true? Is that in the story? Like, actually, that there was no such thing as rain when like there was no such thing as rain when Noah was making a boat or whatever. Is that accurate, or is that some like thing that like Christians made up to add on top of it? They're like, that's why everybody was laughing, because there's no such thing as boats in rain and stuff. Is that? I don't think that's in the Bible. I don't know, but I really don't think it's in there. So many people live even ungodlier lives today, and yet no worldwide destruction, no Messiah, no nothing. Yep, that's true. It's weird. It's weird how it doesn't ever seem to pan out that way. 2,000 years ago, it's like Jesus said that he was coming back soon. It even said that he would be back in the lifetime of the people that were standing there next to him. And remember, they didn't live as long back then. So it's even short. He was expected even shorter than what, you know, the shorter amount of time than what we would think is a lifetime, you know, just like a few more years. Nope, nothing. 2,000 years went by and they're still like, any second now. No, you don't. He's coming. He's coming. Every time a car drives by, they're like, oh, is that? No, not them. Damn it. I hated that, you know, back when you were waiting for drugs, and it's just, they never, you know, every car, you're like, that's gotta be, you know, really sucked when it was the exact make and model of your guy's vehicle.
they had nowhere to hide. And they were destroyed by it. And I believe that that's a lesson that we can see and say, hey, I don't want to be like them. I don't want to live my life understanding that this world is going to come to an end. I'm going to die one day. I may have to face a judge, even if you don't believe in God. You know who Jesus is by now. You have heard his name. Are you going to make
which version of him, man? There's like a million different interpretations of the dude. Holy shit. And it's crazy the way that like the takeaways. That's what gets me so much about the you know, their religious beliefs. It's like the takeaways that they get from these words on the page. The words, oh, okay, there's no rain. What? Oh my God, that's so funny. Yes, there is no rain in the non-peace story until the flood. Okay, so there, that is part of it. Interesting. I didn't realize that. That's fascinating. Okay, because is that? Oh, that's right. That's because of the floodwaters, right? Or the firmament or whatever. Firmament was out there just blocking all the water from falling until God was like, all right, let's break this firmament thing. And yet somehow people still think there's a firmament or something, the flat earthers or anything. Anyway, but yeah, I don't know. It's just crazy to me though that the takeaways that they get from this stuff. It's like they can all read the same words on the page, and the takeaways can be so vastly different. And I just don't understand how they get there. And then you'll like read the words of Paul and everything, and they do not line up with the words of Jesus. And if you notice, like Jesus doesn't even, or Paul doesn't even like quote Jesus. I think he only does like 3 times. That's it. It seemed very clear that Paul was just sort of making up some shit based on, you know, using Jesus as kind of a means to an end in order to validate his, you know, the cult that he wanted to be the leader of. Anyway.
Make a decision to continue to live life by your own standards in the way you want to live, or are you going to follow Christ? And are you going to?
I'm going to follow my standards and not the standards of some other person that tells me what my standard should be, because I got to trust what they think, because their thoughts aren't their thoughts, they're God's. So I got to do what they say. Yeah, no thanks. I'm not stupid.
Receive everlasting life through salvation of Christ by believing in him first. So,
and then all that is just complete nonsense. It's just utter nothing. It just means literally nothing. And if you ask them to clarify, there's you got to truly believe in your heart that you do feel bad for being bad, and that's when Jesus comes in there and he cleans it all up inside there, makes your heart better.
That same thing has to be said to IShowSpeed and everyone else in the world. I'm not making this video, like I said, just to get clout or
yeah, you are. Y-A-Y-A-R. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
To try to bash IShowSpeed. I actually like him. I actually think he's a good guy, but he definitely is diving into demonic witchcraft. He's putting it out there for the world to see.
He's diving right into that demonic witchcraft for people out there to just get interested in African demons. Evil, bro.
And no one's speaking about it. No one's saying anything to him about it. And I believe that we should call this stuff out. I believe that we should let people know, hey, this is not just African tradition things. This is actually demonic worship.
It's literally that, dude. It's literally just African tradition that you are vilifying because, you know, white America. That's why. And your religion says that you're the first commandment of your religion says that if you worship any other god, that you're immoral and bad and evil for just not being Christian, just not worshiping that one God, which is like the fundamental basis of all racism. But anyway, all right. So we got this other video I kind of wanted to check out, and it is on that same kind of what do you call it?
I'm married.
That's the actual. Shit, I went back too far. Is it still up? Let me see. Y'all still see it? Okay. I was gonna watch a deconstruction zone one. There was one that I thought looked pretty cool, and it was fairly recent, I think. And we hadn't really done a deconstruction zone in a while, so. And we had a lot of fun the other day doing the R&R. This is a great one too that I do want to check out. 5 reasons Noah's flood actually happened. So that could be interesting at some point. Of course, this guy, not only is he talking shit about the African, and now he's moved on to Bali. Yeah, they're all demons too, right? With their Hindu beliefs and all this stuff. Jesus. Where'd it go? Oh, I think that might be it. Jesus, I love these ones, right? When it's so Jake learned about Jesus's failures as a Messiah. I think these are so funny because, like, the people that believe the, all of the messianic prophecies that they were like fulfilled and everything, they don't even know what the verses are in the Old Testament that he's supposed to be fulfilling. And so they're just like repeating what like their pastor said or whatever. But a lot of times it feels like their pastors don't even know what in the Old Testament they're even really referring to. So they end up just repeating shit. And then if you actually go back and read the Bible stories, they have nothing to do with what they're talking about. It's amazing.
In Israel for a period of 3.5 years.
All right. So let me go back here.
Right, but I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong.
It's very, very cordial, it sounds.
Come with his angel in my.
All right, well, let's start with liar since that's the first one that I see on yours.
Sure. Yeah, so let's go to the verse we were just reading. I've already got it in my browser. It's going to be Matthew 16, 27 and 28. Jesus says to his disciples, the Son of Man is to come with his angels in the glory of his Father, and then he will repay everybody for what has been done. Truly, I tell you, there are some standing here who will not taste death before they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom.
This is what I was literally just talking about. Yeah. that they will not taste death. The people standing here.
Did that happen?
Sorry, you're cutting out a little bit. Would you mind repeating that really quickly?
Yeah. In Matthew 16, 27, 28 says, the Son of Man is to come with his angels in the glory of his Father. Then he will repay everybody for what has been done. Truly, I tell you, there are some standing here who will not taste death before they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom. Did that prediction come true?
I love when they just have to sit. It takes them so long because they're just sitting there like, wait, what was it? Say it again. You were cutting out. That give me more time to think. Hold on.
Kind of. I would say yes to the immediate context, because of 6 days later, I believe it was Matthew. Is that Matthew 17?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus takes Peter, James, and John to the mountain and is transfigured.
Right. So
and
which of
they
his,
see his divine glory.
which of his disciples died in the 6 days?
I don't know.
None of them did. So that can't be the fulfillment, because he says there are some standing here who will not taste death before they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom. So he didn't come from anywhere in the transfiguration, and nobody died.
How would you get from there to there, dude? The way that they will just jump at something. Oh, maybe he's talking about, you say, no, there are those standing here that will not taste death before the Son of Man returns in the sky, or whatever. And they go, well, but like 6 days later, the transfiguration happened. So what the hell does that have to do with anything? Like, I just gotta just see if that would stick. No, that doesn't work. No, that has nothing to do with anything that we're talking about here. How the hell does that how does that address anything that was said?
Yep.
So that can't be it.
Okay, yeah. Next excuse.
Well, so I think this is talking in dual language, or like dual prophecy, which was common during that area.
Dual prophecy. They're like, I've heard like a couple of people that like to say this quite a bit.
So
how do you know
like
when something is a dual prophecy or not?
That's a good question. It's mostly the criteria of the prophetic language itself. So like we can see this all written throughout the Old Testament. For example, people were constantly expectant of a Messiah. So there was the 300 years of quiet period, in which people were expectant of a Messiah. And that was due to a lot of the prophetic language that came before that.
Right, yeah. The prophetic languages said that the Messiah would be coming and he'd be a king and he'd defeat all of Israel's enemies and he'd reestablish the Levitical priests and all that stuff. But he didn't do any of that.
It's just like, I love the silence. That's like my favorite part of it. Somebody said the magic word.
Are you about to engage in blasphemy?
We are now. That is what we have moved on to. I guess we were kind of doing that the whole time, right? That's sort of been. That's kind of my whole bag, actually. It's just still a whole lot of blasphemy around here. But yeah.
Well, so he was named King of the Jews. That was what was on his cross.
No, he was mocked because he wasn't the king. They were making fun of him. I was like, if somebody put a Burger King crown on my head and called me King of Burger King, it's a joke. It doesn't make me the King of Burger King.
So yeah, no, that makes you the king of the Burger King, the King of Kings, really, the King of the Burger Kings. What is it?
Right, but I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was what's his name, Pontius Pilate, who put the King of the Jews.
Well, I'm not
on
sure.
The cross.
I'm not sure it matters who put it on the cross. They were mocking him. They put a crown of thorns on his.
Sorry, did you think that Pontius Pilate was like labeling it so that people understood? Is that it? They wanted people to know, like, oh yeah, by the way, make sure that this one's let's make sure to label this. Okay, I want people to know that this guy's actually a king. So let's label the cross that we are torturing him to death on. We need to be able to, just to add the due honor that needs to be provided during this torture to death session here.
Let you finish.
They put a crown of thorn on his heads, and they were making fun of him.
Yeah, but Pontius Pilate wasn't. So Pontius
Yes.
Pilate was the one that respected him.
No.
Yeah, so Pontius Pilate was, in the immediate sense, was against the original sentencing because, well, so according to the Bible, he was originally against the immediate sentencing because he said, what crime has this man committed? So Pontius Pilate was against the crucifixion of Jesus and was for the crucifixion of Barabbas, it would seem, because he was advocating for Barabbas.
They were
And,
they were making
wait,
fun of Jesus.
It's
So-
funny because I know what he's talking about, but this is like obviously from the extremely theological perspective of like specific doctrines that like Pontius Pilate was actually, he was a good guy, man. He was not making fun. He respected Jesus, dude. Okay, and he didn't even want to do it. It was the crowd that made him do it. And so that's why they had to do that common Roman practice of letting somebody go, which apparently not a Roman practice at all. That's just made up. They didn't that was not something they did back then, just releasing people. But that somehow made it into the story. Just interesting.
As Pilate took Jesus and had him flogged, and the soldiers wove a crown of thorns and
The guy that respected him so much had him flogged, you know? That's as people do to the people that they respect so much and actually do believe that they are kings of their kingdom, of their burger kingdom.
put it on his head, and they dressed him up in a purple robe, and they kept coming up to and saying to him, "Hail, King of the Jews," and striking him in the face. They're mocking him.
So I 100% agree with you. The part I disagree with is the fact that
And that would be a percentage that you don't agree. You know what?
one who gave him that title was not mocking him.
He didn't give him the title. He was making fun of him. They were making fun of him the whole time.
So yes, you're correct. The Jews and the Romans that were there were completely making fun of him. But again, correct me if I'm wrong, but
he has several times now.
I believe
You're still wrong. You were wrong back then, and you're going to be wrong this time.
Pontius Pilate was the one that put King of the Jews on the cross.
Yes, to make
Which-
fun of him
No,
because he wasn't the actual king. Pontius Pilate, if he actually admitted that there was another king other than Herod, would have been filleted by the Romans.
I had to get a drink of water. He's like, it's getting dry. Hold on. Give me just, you're breaking up again. Give me a chance to, what?
That's
true. And
an insurrection.
Yeah, but so again, I actually don't think I don't think it would have been an insurrection to claim that you are a ruler of a small group. So usually the thing that would, so you're talking about Caesar, right?
I'm the king then.
No.
I rule the deconstruction community.
Yeah, you can totally make that claim.
Cool shit. I'm the Messiah then.
So that would not go against.
I'll take your tithes and worship now.
Sorry, I'm confused about the leap.
You didn't get it. I don't think you got it.
So what I'm saying is, if you claim to be a king right now, that would not be an insurrection against whoever is currently ruling as an authority.
Yeah.
If it's over a small group, so it's claiming.
I don't know. Don't let Trump know that. Okay. Given that we are where we are when we are, it actually might be the case. Trump would have you publicly executed by ICE, as it were, if you will, per se. I could see that happening.
That you are a religious leader is different than claiming you are claiming someone is a king of the Jews.
Okay,
would be a
so
religious figurehead.
okay, so the head of the Sanhedrin was a king too. Caiaphas
Sorry,
was
what?
so Caiaphas was a king
He's drinking the hell out of that water right now.
as well.
What?
I'm not familiar with who that is. I'm sorry.
Caiaphas-
That might just be because I'm new to all this.
Caiaphas was the head of the Sanhedrin.
Then what are you doing? Why are you?
So he was a king as well.
Okay. I don't know.
Well, you just said anyone who's
possibly.
leading a group of people is now a king. So John the Baptist was a king too.
You could argue that, but I would disagree with the claim that John the Baptist was a king because he himself did not claim any sort of he did not claim authority. So he bowed before Jesus.
So
he said Jesus is the authority.
Oh, so
when it comes to religious authority.
Okay, so just claiming that you're a king makes you a king?
No, people have to obey that authority, and people did. People believed Jesus was the Messiah.
When, for example,
so if you claim to be a king and people agree with that, sorry, go ahead.
That's not how kingship works.
So wait, all it takes is like for some people, so for you to convince a couple people, kingness. That's how it works. Jesus.
Okay, so when King David was on the run while his son Absalom was chasing him, who was king?
And we call those lies, Brindley. That's right. That's right. And without lies, Christianity dies. That's right. What's up, Gretchen? How we doing?
So.
And misinterpretations. What's up?
No, try again.
No, just that,
When King David was on the run, when King David was on the run from his son Absalom, who was the king?
I don't know. I'm sorry. This is where I kind of lack biblical knowledge.
David was King. David
so
was
I'm
king.
like
he said king. Oh my God, that's incredible. It reminds me of that "Who Lies in Booker T's Grave." It's like an old, like I don't know if it's a IQ test question or something like that, but it was like an old question back in, like, I want to say like the 40s or 50s or something for testing. So it was like, who lies in Booker T's grave? And people would get it wrong, even though Booker T, man, that's the guy that's in Booker T's grave. What the fuck? What is happening? Why, but everybody, I guess, expects it to be some kind of like trick question or something. That's what it felt like. He's like, King David. It's like, who was king when King David was on the run? I'm very confused. This is actually a tough question for me to answer. King David, he was the king. What? Really? I just said it. It's like incredible. My God.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So
sorry, I'm not sure if you were. I thought you were referring to when he was running from Saul.
No. Okay,
and I believe it is Saul, right?
He did run from Saul. So there's a narrative in.
Did a lot of running. He ran to Goliath after he ran to the river to get some extra smooth stones. There's very smooth stones. That's very important to the story. And then he ran from Absalom, ran from Saul. He did a lot of running.
Okay.
In the books of Samuel, it's in 2 Samuel, chapter 15 and 16. So what happens is his son Absalom tries to take over the throne, and he gets a number of people to defect and follow him and elect him as king. And then he has so many people that he drives his forces into town and then tries to take over the throne. And King David has to flee in safety. And now he's on the run while Absalom takes
your DNA. What's going on? How you doing? What's up?
Over the palace. Okay. So during this whole charade where Absalom took over,
not charade, but it's okay. I'm going to let it. It's Justin, so I'm going to let it slide.
Over the palace, and David is on the run. Who was king?
David.
Yeah, that's right.
Very good. Very good. Somebody's listening. Okay. Somebody's bunnied up right over here.
Okay. So being the king isn't something that happens just because someone claims they're the king or has followers, is it?
No, I would still say so you could argue that both of them are kings.
They were
not kings, but rulers. I guess rulers would be a more accurate.
Okay. So not what we're talking about. Remember, because this whole conversation is because of the last conversation that we had about Jesus being the king of the Jews and having that sign over his cross, which was making fun of him, which you don't seem to understand.
Well, you could say ruler. Ruler, though, it now becomes a real gray area. Like if you're just saying
that's true.
if you're saying he's a ruler, that's meaningless to me. I care if he's an actual king, because the prophecies about the Messiah says he's going to be a king. And he just wasn't a king, which gets me to the second point, which is that he's a fraud. He's a false Messiah. The Messiah was supposed to be a real, true king who sat on the throne of King David and wielded a separate scepter. No king, no Messiah.
You're right. I don't have an immediate response to that. I'm sorry.
Right?
Yeah, it's not okay. It's not okay. You just no.
So the fact that somebody like
You're right.
mocked
Make a
him,
solid case.
yeah, the fact that somebody mocked him.
Well,
to me,
again,
doesn't
I still
matter.
disagree with that claim.
What?
Right, but listen,
That's what all of this was for, and you basically still agreed to it. Oh my god, it's crazy when you could slow walk them that far to the point where they forgot what they were slow walking for at all. Like they just completely forgot what all of this was for. Like this was all to make the point that they were just making fun of him.
just mocking
So,
somebody as being a king doesn't
Unbelievable.
fulfill the requirement of being the Messiah. Because
Right. So I
Simon Bar
disagree with the
Kokhba,
mocking claim. I agree with the other bit.
Simon Bar Kokhba was an actual ruler in Israel for a period of 3.5 years. Why isn't he the Messiah?
Because Jesus fulfilled a fair amount of dual prophecies.
Like what?
Oh, the dual prophecies. God, I forgot. Dual.
Let's see. So there was several in Isaiah. I believe there was some in Deuteronomy, and I believe the one.
Which ones?
Well, pick your favorite one and we'll talk about it.
Go ahead. Okay.
It's funny because and you can hear them. It's like, I think there's some over there, and there's a couple back in that place, and Isaiah, and maybe in Deuteronomy too. I don't know. Like, because so often they don't even know what the actual verses are. They're just like, oh, he fulfilled the prophecies, and they hear it from somebody else that's just like, oh, but all those prophecies that he fulfilled in Isaiah and stuff. And they're like, man, that's wow. I'm going to log that away, and that's it. That's all they did was log that part away. They didn't go check what they were actually like saying was the prophecy that he fulfilled. Not to mention, of course, I always think it's funny when this happens because they could just write that he did fulfill stuff when they were writing the New Testament that was written after the Old Testament. What the hell? Why does everybody think this is so special? Anybody could do this.
Sorry, I have it saved.
I assume
Just
it's
give me 1 second to find it.
Isaiah 7 or Isaiah 9:6 or Isaiah 53, one of those prophecies.
I think Isaiah 7.
Yeah, Isaiah 7 is
Let me see if I
a
can find
common
it
one.
online.
Yeah, 7:14. Yeah, let's read it.
Probably. Would you mind? Do you have it
Yeah.
there while
Yep.
I'm searching for it?
Yeah, I got it. So Isaiah 7 starts out.
Hold on.
It's while the king of
What's going on? Hold on. Before we get into that, I kind of want to isolate out something in the chat for a second here. There's a okay. So Felicia was talking to Dr. Kip about it's about the Bible. It's funny. I was gonna say you can't say that you don't care about the Bible around here. God damn it! Not from like an atheist perspective. Like I get we don't think that it's true, but this will get Dr. Kip fired up. He said, "Yeah, my arguments usually stem from external analytic history, not intra-biblical study. I kind of don't care about the Bible on its own." I can't believe. Whoa. Hey, let's cool it. All right, lady. Look, no, but on its own, if that makes sense, which it does. But and then Kip came back. This is fun. Said, I get it, but I encourage people to not just dismiss the texts in the Bible. A lot of them are still our best historical sources for a lot of things. And Felicia came back and said, I don't dismiss the text. The Bible is historically important. I dismiss the intra-biblical arguments. I don't find them fun, and that's fair. You cannot find them fun, but no. But and it's funny too because like for the longest time I did not take like the Bible seriously. I think because I was raised to believe it in such a very specific way that it was kind of like easier for me to just sort of dismiss the whole thing. But I'm having a lot more fun actually going back and actually looking into the scholarship of it and everything. It's really cool.
Judah is under attack by two other kings, King Rezin and King Pekah, one from the Arameans and one from the northern Israelites, because the northern Israelites made an alliance with the Arameans, and they want to replace the king of Judah with a king that's favorable to the alliance. So they're under attack, and King Ahaz from Judah is freaking out, shaking in his boots. And so God sends the prophet Isaiah to him out to the fuller's field. They meet, and the end of the first prophecy, Isaiah says, if you do not stand firm in faith, you shall not stand at all. That's the end of the first prophecy. The second prophecy is the part about the supposed virgin birth that starts.
That's the prophecy. Hold on. What is it?
See,
Wait.
Isaiah says, if you do not stand firm in faith, you shall not stand at all.
If you do not stand firm in faith, you do not stand at all. That's the prophecy.
That's the end of the first prophecy. The second prophecy is the part about the supposed virgin birth that starts in verse 10. And it says, again, the Lord spoke to Ahaz, saying, ask a sign of the Lord your God. Let it be as deep as Sheol or as high as heaven. So first things first, who
I love getting as high as heaven. Just want to say, that's a good time, I think, for everybody.
is the prophecy being spoken to?
I believe it's speaking to. Are you saying who's it speaking to, or who is it talking about?
Who's being spoken to in verse 10? It says, again, the Lord spoke to Ahaz.
Yeah.
Right.
So Ahaz.
Yep. And the Lord said,
same thing. I've made a false distinction there.
That's okay. So the Lord said, ask a sign of the Lord your God, and let it be as deep as Sheol or as high as heaven. But Ahaz said, I will not ask, and I will not put the Lord to the test.
That's actually a pretty good question. Where DNA said, I wonder if the authors of the Bible ever thought the stories would ever be dissected and gone over with a fine-tooth comb. They probably would have checked their work a few more times, I think, if they did think that, but I don't know. It's it's funny. Oh, I see. So you were on the. Wait, is this to Brent, or is you talking to me? So I was in the doorstep of entering Mundelein Seminary. I used to hold the Bible closed, but ever since I backed away, I found the lack of extra biblical evidence more interesting. Yeah, I actually myself, I really like the logical stuff. I don't know. I just find that quite interesting. But like I said, looking at the scholarship is pretty cool too. It's but it's different. It's different. Like scholarship is not the same thing as looking at the theology of it all. It's very, very different. And a lot of times when you look at the scholarship, you can see how much the theology is incorrect because their interpretations of stuff are just all wrong. They don't know anything about the original text. They don't even know that back in the day, in the Old Testament, they believed in other gods. They don't know so much about the Bible, how it came into existence, what was believed about those texts at the time they were written and stuff. They don't know any of that shit. So they just are looking at these Bible verses and they're just sort of making up a bunch of theology. And that, I think, is what turns a lot of us off, because we hear about the Bible from those fucking people the most. And so we kind of just don't want anything to do with it. But lately, I think looking at, like I said, the scholarship, Bible, like Josh Bowen and Dr. Kip Davis here, and a lot of this stuff. It's just really interesting. It's a lot more fun. Anyway, and deconstruction zone.
Then Isaiah said, hear then, O house of David, is it too little for you to weary mortals that you weary my God also? Therefore, the Lord himself will give you a sign. Look, the young woman is with child and shall bear a son and shall name him Emmanuel. He shall eat curds and honey by the time he knows how to refuse the evil and choose the good. For, excuse me.
He was what? He was eating the curds and honey. He shall eat curds and honey. What the hell are curds? Because I don't feel like isn't when something curdles, that's bad. You're not supposed to eat curdled stuff. So I'd imagine the curds are the things that have been curdled, right? That's got to make sense.
Before the child knows how to refuse the evil and choose the good, the land before whose 2 kings you are in dread will be deserted. So the prophecy is to King Ahaz, and what he says was, there's a child already conceived, about to be born, and before that child knows right from wrong, the 2 kings that you're afraid of, they're going to be wiped out.
What the hell are curds? Wait, hold on. I love Culver's. They don't have curdled stuff. What are you talking about? Everything I get from there is quite fresh, actually. Especially those burgers. Wow. The butter. I think they call them the butter burgers. They are very good. And there's not much that you can do to make the butter burger better. Because the butter burger is better. I can't do it. I was going to try to just freehand a whole tongue twister. It just didn't really pop there.
Did I miss anything?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Sorry,
Was
no.
there anything in here about a virgin birth?
So yeah, so the Hebrew
almost. It's almost in there. If you twist your brain into a fucking pretzel, there you go.
word you're looking, so you're referring to young woman. So Alma is the Hebrew word for that, I believe.
Wait, a baby? Oh, cheese curds. Okay, yeah, that's right. I forgot they're called that. So they're just like fried cheese or whatever, right? The cheese curds. Anyway, but a baby was eating that. A baby was eating cheese curds. That baby's not gonna poop for like a week, dude. I don't think that's good for their insides there.
But culturally, it implied virginity.
No. Alma just means young woman.
Yeah. So. But I'm saying so.
Yeah, and that's the that what he's talking about is the part in Snatch, right? You know the movie Snatch, at the very beginning when they're walking from one CCTV set to the next, you know, when all the names are coming up. Remember back in the day they used to have names at the beginning of the movies for like 30 fucking minutes or whatever. Anyway, but like, and that's what they're talking about because they're all dressed up like the Hasidic Jews, and they're talking about how the word Alma is actually a misinterpretation of the Old Testament, and yeah, and so it actually just meant young woman, did not mean virgin, but that's, you know, but apparently a whole prophecy thing came out of that misunderstanding of the Old Testament. This is kind of funny.
Culturally, at the time, it implied virginity. So it was typically it was referring to a young woman, a young unmarried woman of childbearing age.
No, it's just a young, marriageable or already married woman. Her virginity is not even specified. If you want to talk about a virgin, you would call her a Bethula. That's the specific word for virgin. Young woman just.
So, Dr. Kip, you said, no, it absolutely did not imply virginity. The word most likely pointed to the sexual status of a woman who has not yet born children. Okay, so there's, you know, there's a distinction there between the two, right? You got a woman that doesn't have kids that is also not a virgin. Those two, you know, there's a Jesus. That's so funny. How interesting. I did not realize that, but that makes sense. They don't have like distinctions for those things.
Means young woman. She could be a virgin. She could not be a virgin.
Oh,
now,
wow,
if she's unmarried, then it's expected that she's a.
Pop that up there. Like, what was it? Let me see. Oh wow. Flip normal. Gave $5. Holy shit! Thank you so much. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up. There it is. Cool. So gotta wobble off, Bradley. Have a great week. Oh, thanks, Brad. Thanks for hanging out. This was a lot of fun. Appreciate you being here. And thanks again, dude. That's awesome.
Virgin, obviously, because she's not married. If she is married, then she wouldn't be a virgin, obviously. And here it's clear that she's not a virgin because it says that she is chara, meaning she is with child. It's an adjective. She's pregnant.
Right. So that's why I'm saying there's the immediate fulfillment of the prophecy, and then there's the eternal fulfillment of the prophecy.
What? There's you get immediate and eternal fulfillments. We got all the fulfillments all over the place. Like,
Right. So why would I believe that there's
So
two
it
fulfillments
also
of this
says
prophecy?
that the Lord himself.
it didn't even fulfill one. But this dude's like, no, we're stacking fulfillments, dude. What are you talking about? Jesus.
Because that's what the Jews believed.
So do you know why
So
they? Do you know why
Jews
they?
at the time were expecting?
Do you know why they came
Sorry,
up
go
with
ahead.
this nonsense of multiple prophecy fulfillments?
Well, so that was
I'm
pretty
going to go out on a limb. No. I don't think he did. No.
common though for prophetic language at the time.
No.
So like many of the prophecies came with an immediate fulfillment and an eternal fulfillment.
No, they didn't.
I like butter. Oh, I do. I like butter too. Sometimes I just melt it just so I can drink it. Doctor says I got to stop doing that though. So my veins aren't going to handle it. There's stuff building up inside there. You know. Apparently, I got to work on that. It's bullshit.
This is something that
Like move to like light cream and stuff. I refuse. How am I supposed to drink? It's heavy cream. God damn it! And you don't drink anything else. Sometimes I just drink the heavy cream like it's milk. That's how I eat cereal. And everybody talks to me like I'm crazy when I tell them that. But I'm like, holy shit, cereal tastes so much better with heavy cream. What's wrong with everybody? Plus, you need that fat in the morning to kind of, give you the energy for the day. Because, just whatever's in that cereal, so that's not going to do it. You got to have some kind of sustenance,
people made up.
I don't really know how to respond to that. That was
I know this is something that people
Sorry,
made
go
up.
ahead.
Yeah, I know. We get that. We know you don't know how to respond to it. That's what we're, that's why Justin does these.
Later as a cope when the prophecies didn't literally come true.
Oh, hold on. Let me see.
This is something that people made up.
I don't really know how to respond to that. That was
I know this is something that people
Sorry,
made
go
up later as a cope. When the prophecies didn't literally come true,
I love it.
they had to make up different interpretive models rather than just admitting that.
What? That Kip does it too. What? You do? That's so funny. I'm always like treated like I'm insane for eating for eating that shit. Or with eating for whole cream. Yeah, heavy cream. Oh, so good though.
They didn't come true. They would say, oh, well, it didn't completely come true. It only kind of came true. The rest of it, the fuller picture will come true later. And so they just changed the meaning of the prophecies rather than admitting that they wouldn't come true. And we can see this happening in the Dead Sea. The Dead Sea Scrolls, they go through Habakkuk and some of the other prophets in the Bible, and they just rewrite it. They're like, oh, they wouldn't come true. And we can.
Hold on. I want to look at this comment because I was like, did I miss something? I feel like I missed something. Guys, okay. So Dave said, also, even if it were a virgin birth and Emmanuel somehow meant Jesus, which it doesn't, it was just so funny because and you shall name him Jesus. Is that no Emmanuel? But it somehow means Jesus. Don't think about it. Just repeat it, please. How does this prophecy help King Ahaz's situation? I'm not really sure. What is the Ahaz situation? I don't remember. Are we talking about that? Is that and he said, yeah, King Ahaz was a piece of shit. But Yahweh made a covenant with his great grandfather. So Yahweh and Isaiah really do not like Ahaz. I gotta go back and read Isaiah, I guess. That's what this is. I haven't gotten to that part of Dr. Kip's book yet, but yeah, we'll gotta get back to that at some point.
True. The rest of it, the fuller picture will come true later. And so they just changed the meaning of the prophecies rather than admitting that they wouldn't come true. And we can see this happening in the Dead Sea. The Dead Sea Scrolls, they go through Habakkuk and some of the other prophets.
Habakkuk. What the? It just sounds fun. It's just a funny word there.
It's in the Bible, and they just rewrite it. They're like, oh, this word actually means this now, and this word means this, and this people group is actually this people group. And they just rewrite everything for their own time period, even though Habakkuk wasn't writing about their time period, because Habakkuk said things that didn't come true. Isaiah said things that didn't come true. So they're just going in and saying, well, we can't admit that they didn't come true, so now we have to go in and develop new interpretive models rather than admitting defeat.
well, except for
oh my God, it's so weird. It feels like they were MAGA people back then that were like making up reinterpretations to like validate the wrongness all the time. Crazy. It's almost like this mental gymnastics shit have been going on for quite some time.
Agree in partiality. So I agree in the sense that there was later added features. So we know.
Holy shit. I'm sorry. I know I'm sidetracking with this whole cereal thing, but this is really it's got me thrown for a loop. Dr. Kids out here in Canada, half cream is even called cereal cream. What? Well, first of all, we call that half and half here, I think. But I don't know why. I don't know why we don't even describe what it's half and half of at all. It's just half and half. That's it. We're done talking. But that's so funny. They call it cereal cream, which is pretty good. Heavy cream's better though. Just saying. You need that other half to be heavy.
In John, for example, there was a couple of things that were later added, and there's some things in Hebrew that were altered, but most of the things that were altered in very minor ways, and the dual prophetic language was pretty common during that era. So there was the expectation that there was a immediate. What? Sorry, what'd you say?
I know, yeah. This idea that a prophecy could have multiple meanings or even many meanings was common. I reject it. I think it's silly. I think when Isaiah wrote his prophecies, I don't think he had in mind that it had many fulfillments. I think he had a primary context, a primary fulfillment, and then when it didn't come true, people started to cope.
Yeah, except the only thing I find difficult with Isaiah specifically is just the wording. So the wording implies more depth and weight. So the idea of the Lord himself.
Yeah.
The Lord himself.
Yeah, Yahweh is going to give you a sign.
Demands a certain level of... Right.
Why is that
Wait,
deep?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Why is that a deep thing?
Why is that deep, man?
Why is what a deep thing? I missed what you said.
You said the Lord himself will give you a sign is somehow deep. I don't see why. The Lord himself is talking to the prophet, who's in turn talking to Ahaz, and he's telling Ahaz, ask for a sign. Why is Yahweh telling Ahaz to ask for a sign?
I don't know.
Because he wants him to stand firm in his faith during the time of war. The end of the last prophecy was, if you do not stand firm in faith, you shall not stand at all.
Oh, that's the guy. Okay. God, the names, it's like they fall right out of my head as soon as I hear them.
And then
that's what we were talking. Got it. Never mind.
Very next thing, God sends the prophet again and says, listen, ask for a sign. He's trying to shore up the faith of Ahaz.
Yeah, so also, sorry, if you wouldn't mind reminding me, is this the prophecy that talks about Emmanuel?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not Jesus. Emmanuel.
Again, I'm so sorry about my lack of knowledge. Like I'm so new to this.
Now you're literally every Christian on planet Earth, dude. Don't apologize. You are doing actually better than 95% of Christians here.
And I'm really nervous because
okay.
You seem to be rather in depth about this stuff.
Plus, you got a lot of people watching right now, dude.
I've had a head start.
I thought. Yeah, I'm hoping I can catch up at some point, but we shall see. We'll find out what I believe later. But so correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Emmanuel means God with us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which
okay, see, that's what he is talking about. So you're talking about where this prophecy came from. I got it now. I don't know why I did that name just totally fell out of my brain. So Ahaz didn't accept the prophecy and enlisted instead the help of the Assyrians, which did lead to the destruction of his enemies. I see. Okay. Yeah, that's just yeah, I gotta go back and read Isaiah again.
The child that what was Ahaz's wife's name?
Well, we don't actually know who the mother of the child is. There's some speculation. I think the mother of the child was the wife of Isaiah, the prophet. Some people think that it's one of the wives of Ahaz, and is referring to the birth of Hezekiah. That is possible. It could be referring to the birth of Hezekiah. I think the most likely reading, though, is that it's referring to the birth of the child in chapter 8, or a child that is born.
What's up, Sons of Mice? How you doing, dude? It's good to see you.
Just like the child in chapter 8. So in chapter 8, we have a really interesting turn of events. So the ending of the prophecy that we're interested in ends with how it's going to come out, right? It says, before the child knows how to refuse the evil and choose the good, the land before whose 2 kings you are in dread will be deserted. Well, how is that going to happen? It says, the Lord will bring on you and on your people and your ancestral house as such days as have not come since the day that Ephraim departed from Judah, the king of Assyria. On that day, the Lord will whistle for the fly that is at the source of the streams of Egypt, and for the bee that is in the land of Assyria. So he's saying, I'm going to bring the army of Assyria down, and he's going to beat these 2 kingdoms up, and he's going to take his turn at you as well. You're not going to like it, but you're going to get through it. Now, this begins to come true in chapter 8, actually. So if you go to chapter 8, the prophet goes into his wife, has a child. In fact, he names the
It goes into. Oh, is that a TikTok thing? Because you can't say. He goes right on in there. That's right. Part of him goes in there, and then they have a kid and
child. It says, I went to the prophetess, and she conceived and bore a son. Then the Lord said to me, name him Maher-shalal-hash-baz. For before the child knows how to call my father or my mother, the wealth of Damascus and the spoil of Samaria will be carried away by the king of Assyria. So again, there's another child with a prophetic name. And it says of the child, before he's old enough to be able to do something, God's going to deal with these 2 kingdoms. Damascus was the primary city of the Arameans, and Samaria was the primary city. Samaria and Ephraim were the primary territories of northern Israel. So he's saying, just like with the child in chapter 7, here's another child, and before that child is old enough to say mommy or daddy, the king of Assyria is going to come and wipe them out. And then it actually comes true. If you go down to verse 7, therefore the Lord is bringing up against it the mighty flood waters of the river, the king of Assyria, and all.
Oh, so that, okay, I think I understand what's going on here. So he said, so that is the prophecy that they're expecting Jesus to fulfill. Yet he's saying, nope, that was fulfilled later in the same story, not by Jesus.
All of his glory, it will rise above all of its channels and overflow all of its banks. It will sweep on into Judah as a flood, pouring over, will reach up to the neck, and its outspread wings will fill the breadth of your land. Then it's interesting that the English translation says, O Emmanuel, right here. That's not really where it is in the Hebrew text. In the Hebrew text, it includes it at the beginning of take notice. It says, O Emmanuel, take notice, you people, and be dismayed. Listen, all you far countries, and gird yourselves and be dismayed. Take counsel together, but it shall be brought to naught. Speak a word, but it shall not stand, for God is with us. So the prophet is telling you what it means, what Emmanuel means in the context of the prophecy. Emmanuel means that God is with them during the war.
That from that time, it's got nothing to do with the New Testament. It almost feels like when they're like haphazardly putting this stuff together in order to like make Jesus fulfill all these prophecies and stuff. It's just almost feel like they're just like grabbing stuff from the Old Testament and then just be like, we could play off of that, we could play off this, like not really like paying attention to what the words are really even saying. It just feels like they're trying, I don't know, like they're starting a cult and they're trying to get validity for their cult.
Right. The same way that the name of the child in verse 3, Maher-shalal-hash-baz, means the wealth of Damascus and the spoil of Samaria will be carried. Sorry, what does that mean? Blah, 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 blah. What does that name mean again? Anyways, I'll have to look it up later. But so all of his children have prophetic names, or at least titles, right?
I agree with that bit.
Right. And when the prophecy seems to be coming true, the prophet himself shouts out twice, "O Emmanuel," because he seems to be understanding that the prophecy is that God is with us, not that there's a child who literally is God.
Yeah, but the other prophetic. So I'm again.
It's crazy that you have to explain that much shit. See, this is why it's so much harder to explain why something is incorrect, especially when it has to do with like Old Testament prophecies and stuff. You got to go into all that shit to be like, see, it's not about Jesus.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the other names you're referring to, none of them are the idea that are attributing godlike attributes to the name. So it's not God with us. It's like I actually don't know them off the top of my head. I just had them a second ago, but now I'm like mad stressed. But I'm pretty
Relax, buddy. It's okay. You don't stop taking life so seriously. It's all right, bud. Okay.
pretty sure that the names weren't literally fulfilled in the time of Ahaz, correct?
Yeah, they were, because what was prophesied came true. God said that he would be with them while the king of Assyria relieved them of the two other kings, and that he would be with them even as the king of Assyria came down and kind of beat up Judea. He would be with them throughout the whole thing, and he was.
I love the silence. Like it's been, well, hold on.
There are 3 different prophecies
But
about God being with Israel during this war.
so is Emmanuel more than a name then? Is it like could it be used as a statement? So if I gave someone a name, God with us, that would be implying like a certain level of godhood to the person I'm giving the name to. If I said Emmanuel, would that be different, or are you saying that would be the same?
Well, I think it's roughly the same.
I genuinely don't know.
I think it's roughly the same. So like somebody could have a name, and it doesn't necessarily mean that it is a description of the person with the name. Just like Hezekiah just means, strong Yahweh. It could be translated, depending on how you do it. It could be translated into Yahweh is my strength. There's some discussion there, but there's a lot of prophetic names or theophoric names in the Hebrew Old Testament or the Hebrew scriptures. But that doesn't mean that the person that they're ascribed to is describing the person that are given the names.
Well, but I'm pretty sure the names that you're referring to are mostly in praise of God. So like God is mighty, or I'm trying to remember the names. I can't currently do that. But I'm pretty sure the only one that attributes a certain level of godhood is Emmanuel.
No, Hezekiah does.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
So Hezekiah is...
What's Hezekiah's?
It's a combination of 2 words, hazach, which means strength or strong, and then kaya, or technically it'd just be Yah. So hazach Yah would be...
That's how you say Hezekiah back then? Hezekiah. Cool.
Strong Yahweh.
Strong Yahweh. That's funny.
Okay.
He's the strong one. He's the strong of the Yahwehs.
Sorry, I
He was Yahweh after he started going to the gym.
Sorry, go ahead.
But Hezekiah was not strong Yahweh.
So, okay. So
See, there's this whole consistency thing, you gotta make sure it's consistent. And if there's other examples of it not working the way that you're saying it works, then it doesn't work.
That's one of the names I thought I knew, because I thought Hazak meant to strengthen. So I thought it didn't mean strength. I thought it meant to strengthen. So in other words, Yahweh strengthens.
No, this is where it's actually really important to understand grammar. So in Hebrew,
100%.
you've got like a 3 consonant root, right? So you've got...
This dude's actually quite pleasant. He's so much more pleasant. And it's like we actually get to sit here and learn a bit from this one, because he's actually sitting and listening and not interrupting every 2 seconds in a ball of fury and rage at what he's saying. So it's actually kind of nice. I feel like you don't hear these kind of calls very often.
Chazak, and that would be a verb if you said chazak, is you got the two A class vowels forming the conjugation of the cal verbal stem. But you can actually just make that into a noun, the same verbal root, just different vowels, right? So when we look at Hezekiah, it actually has an E class vowel or a short I class vowel at the beginning of it. So chazak could be a verb to strengthen, but the way that it shows up in the text doesn't show it in the verbal form.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's that's what I was sort of thinking about when actually I wasn't, but thanks.
Gotcha. Sorry, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so there's a difference between chazak and hezach. You know what I mean?
Okay. Good to know. So and you said one is verb form and one is
nonverbal, yeah.
What was the other one?
Yeah.
Nonverbal. Okay, got it.
So it'd just be in like the nominal format.
So it would be like it is strong or whatever, strengthened.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. I did not know that before just now.
Yeah. So Hebrew is one of those weird word languages where there's like a 3 consonant root. And so depending on how you add vowels to the consonants, it depends on how you're going to translate it. But unfortunately, and this is where things get muddy, unfortunately for us, the original Hebrew text didn't have vowels. So it gets a little more difficult. So like when we're,
how are we able to translate it?
So the Masoretic scribes added vowel pointers in. About 200 years after Jesus died, they started adding vowel pointers into the text.
I see, like a noun. Okay, I got it.
Masoretes mostly completed their work at about the 6th or the 7th century BCE or CE. But the original text did not have vowel pointers. They were added later. So the reality is, once you get rid of the vowel pointers, you actually got some options.
So wait, they didn't have these pointers during the time of the text. They happened 200 years after Jesus. So what is that like? I don't even know. Like pretty close to 2,000 years ish. No, 1,000 years ish.
In which
after
direction?
They were originally written.
I'm sorry. So the Hebrew Old Testament was written over the course of a couple hundred years, probably, I don't know, around the time of Josiah, up to the 1st and 2nd century. Daniel was probably one of the latest. And then the vowel pointers weren't added until the Masoretic period, which is starting in about 200 CE.
So approximately like 800 years then.
Oh yeah,
after the texts were originally written, they were these the vowel pointers were added in.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's tough.
Right. So it makes it a little.
So it wasn't about that. Okay, that's what he's saying is, that's so crazy. So they went back and added stuff to the language.
A little bit difficult to know precisely what is always meant,
what is being said,
because they were so they were like interpreting stuff and then adding in characters and stuff as it was being even back then. So you're having to like try to keep up with all of that. Wow, that's wild. That's got to make things complicated
when we're translating it, which is why like I always give a little bit of leeway when you have a word and the translation of the word is dependent on just like the vowels. Well, that's pretty slippery if you want to make an argument based on just vowels, because we don't 100% know what was intended by the original author. But we at some point we do have to trust the Masoretic scribes a little bit, But how much do we have to trust them? It's hard to say.
Yeah. Okay. I again did not know that.
This dude is very cordial. Like, honestly, this is like what probably the best best conversation I think I've heard on his channel.
Oh, I feel so bad. I am not representing anything very well right now.
Yeah, you are. You kind of are, dude. I mean, not necessarily Christianity being true, but the fact that you're like open and honest and actually listening and responding to what was said prior to, like, you know, that's good. Like, honestly, again, doing better than 95% of the quote unquote callers or whatever you call them on TikTok that I've seen on this channel.
No, it's okay. So the fact of the matter is, we're talking about Isaiah chapter 7, and Isaiah chapter 7 is talking about a child that's going to be born. And it says that before the woman's already pregnant, before the child knows right from wrong, the two kings that you're afraid of are going to be wiped out. And then they get wiped out by the king of Assyria, exactly the way the prophecy was foretold. So it seems to be that the prophecy came true the way it was supposed to come true. So I guess the next question I would ask then is, like, why would I look at this prophecy and think that there's like another fulfillment of it, unless the king of Assyria is going to come and defeat Israel's new enemies? Like, because that's really what the prophecy is about. If it's going to come true a second time, I would imagine that it would still be related to the original prophecy somehow.
I like that, and that makes a lot of sense too, Dr. Kev, what you say. Honestly, just like the way the story reads better, it's prophecy delivered to Ahab. I like the idea that he lived with this reminder of his unfaithfulness, so it's not is what that's interesting. That makes sense, honestly, and I could see them, you know, recording it that way, or it being, you know, meant to be that way anyway back then, to kind of give it that extra bit of Bible-ness. I don't know if that's the right word. The moral structure. I don't know.
Not something completely different.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. So I guess this would be kind of my only 2 cents to add to that was, so like the immediate prophecy, yeah, I would say was fulfilled then in Isaiah's day. But I don't think that necessarily rules out a second fulfillment, especially because it does follow a pattern that was like already previously set with other prophecies.
Right, but
just the prophetic language.
But why would I?
What would connect it to Jesus?
I think that there's another fulfillment here. If there's a second fulfillment, it still needs to be connected to the original context. If it's not, then it could be about anything. Like, if you're saying we can just go into a prophecy, disconnect it from its original context, disconnect it from its original meaning and intent, then I can make any prophecy about me. I mean, that's not hard at all. Isaiah 65:9, I will bring forth descendants. Boom, I fulfilled that. There you go.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. I gotta read this. That's so cool. That would make it makes sense, honestly, the way that, you know, being a Bible scholar and everything. That would make being a Bible scholar so much more fun. Oh no, Dr. Gibbs said, see, I have a bad tendency to imagine the real world behind the text, and it gets a bit dramatic in my fantasy. That's all. It's like Game of Thrones. You've got like a Game of Thrones thing going on, but with like you know, prophecies and stuff. That's so, and prophets. And well, I guess they should have had those, right? And prophecies. Think about it in Game of Thrones, but with less or fewer penises, right? You know, don't have to deal with all those. Wait, actually, what am I talking about? This is the Old Testament. Oh, more penises, right? And pieces of the penises. Actually, that's kind of a big theme. Anyway, back to the sorry.
I would agree with that. The only distinction that I would make was like one, Isaiah as a prophetic text in the first place. A fair amount of his prophecies tended to work like that. Like I'm trying to think of them off the top of my head.
I don't think any of them did.
9 and 11.
No, I don't think any of them.
Well, so I'm pretty sure
were dual prophecies.
Okay.
Like you're just assuming that they're dual prophecies because that's the only way you can make them about Jesus.
Yeah, that's the problem. As they're all like grabbing these prophecies that it's funny too. I didn't honestly a lot of the ones I hadn't really looked into the Isaiah one, so it's kind of interesting because I didn't even realize that those were prophecies back then, that they were like, oh, these are prophecies. Because so many times it felt to me like you would just read in the Old Testament and it's about something just completely random and it didn't even say it was a prophecy. They're just like, oh, this kind of lines up. Some of the words are sort of the same, and sort of so that must have been prophecy, even though nobody said it was a prophecy. And they're just, we're just deciding that it's a prophecy after the fact, as this like post hoc rationalization so that we can find all the goddamn connections we possibly can from Jesus and any details about anything that has to do with him and anything in the Old Testament. But these ones are actually even labeled as prophecies, but they're prophecies that were literally fulfilled in the text back then. So that's really fascinating. Yeah, it's really interesting stuff, gotta say.
I'm trying to figure out why should I accept the idea that these prophecies have multiple fulfillments. And I know that there were Jews in the first century who
exactly. Thank you. Yeah. It's just post hoc cope. That's it. Yeah. Post hoc copium.
Agreed with the Christians that many of these prophecies had multiple meanings, but they were wrong too. I'm asking you just from a contextual look at the prophecies, why would I think that there are multiple fulfillments?
Because you're supposed to.
So when you're saying just looking at the text, would that be excluding expectations of a future Messiah?
No, what I'm saying
I know
is
that the Jews were expectant of a future Messiah. So like the name Emmanuel, God with us, you could argue was not literally fulfilled in the time of Ahaz, but
it
was literally filled in the New Testament.
No, it wasn't.
See, because he thinks, I guarantee he thinks that Emmanuel has, Messiah has to mean God in human form, which is not necessarily what Messiah means.
It was literally fulfilled the way it was intended during the reign of King Ahaz. The name was not saying there's going to be a God child. The name was a prophetic name, just like his other children, declaring what God is doing.
And we just went over this, like literally a few minutes ago. Silence.
Sorry, I'm
thinking.
Multitasking. You said it was declaring what God was doing. Did I get the end bit of that correct? So I would agree with. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, he named his first child a remnant shall return. Like all of his children just have these.
And that was like Shear, Joshua.
I never remember these long names, but yeah, something.
I know they're so grim.
But the long and short of it is like all of his children had prophetic names, and so like why would I think that this is any different?
Well, because he had. Oh, what was it? Was it 3?
I have to do the dual. So, but and I can't now. Of course, it's eluding me. But no, there is something else that is known as a dual prophecy in the context, right? But I can't remember what they were. I feel like I remember. I don't even know who was right. One of y'all. I feel like whether it was Kip or Justin or Josh, talking about this. And it's eluding me. But I feel like there was a context within the old, the Old Testament and whatnot of dual prophecies, but
because there was another one which was quick to the plunder was another one. I can't remember where that was, but
that's weird. Quick to the plunder. That's that sounds like a punk album, actually. That could be a punk band. Now think about it. Quick to the plunder. That works. We got to write that down. Yeah, Kevin, get the punk. We'll make a shirt, a punk band shirt of Quick to the Plunder. Yeah, well, it'll be cool.
So I think it's because Emmanuel fits the pattern, but it's even more so. Like the God with us. It declares God's So I think it declares God's presence.
We already did this.
I agree. Yeah, it declares
In a
God's
sense,
presence
just like the
During
others.
that time.
with
But-
Israel.
Sorry, go
With
ahead.
Israel.
No, I agree. It's a sign
Yeah,
of God's
so-
presence with Israel during what time period?
Back to when they were in. It's the Old Testament. It's like, we just went over this, I thought.
So are you asking me for the dates or during the rule? Because you said
The exact date. And I'd like the times as well, if you don't mind. And location. Specifically, if you're longitude and latitude, that'd be great. I can work with that.
before it
It's
was
during
the
Ahaz's
fall
time.
Of,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's-
yeah.
It's a sign for King Ahaz.
We just went over this.
King Ahaz wasn't alive when Jesus was born. It's not a sign for King Ahaz if it's Jesus.
Well, see, he's gonna think, what's both?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how else to answer that. Like, so, but yeah, you make a solid case. I won't lie.
I mean,
I'm trying to think. Like, my brain isn't working this fast. I'm sorry.
the only way you can really make it about Jesus is if you say it has a second meaning. But why would I accept a second meaning, especially when the second meaning just isn't connected to the original context? Because like we can go into any of the prophecies and just apply a second
It was just dead silent for like 2 whole minutes, just sitting there.
meaning. I mean, who gets to choose which prophecies get 2 meanings?
That's a good point.
Because
I
you
don't
don't
know.
you don't think that all
That's a good point. Hold on a second. Now I'm just maybe the Christians are like wrong about this or something. You know what? Maybe I should start to deconstruct, you know?
of the prophecies have 2 meanings, right?
I don't know all of them. I've literally been like doing this for the past couple of months, but I don't know how many there are. So given the way you're saying that, I would assume no.
Right. Yeah. There's many hundreds of prophecies. Right.
Okay.
So like the fact of the matter is like there are no second meanings to the prophecies. These are like hermeneutics that were invented because
Oh, that's the okay. Yes, I see what you're saying. That was the prophecy order. So by the time the child can say mommy or daddy, the spoils of his enemies will be carried off. And by the time the child knows right from wrong, the lands will be desolate. Those were the prophecy. I see, and that was through the names, right? That was the okay.
they knew that Jesus didn't fulfill any actual prophecies. So it's like, well, if you squint hard enough and say that there's a second meaning to this prophecy, we can make it about him, even though the original context isn't about him. And to me, like,
It reminds me of like when you know, you hear I can't remember who it is. I think it was that red pen logic guy. He had said that like the you know, we were talking about like the Christmas story of Jesus's birth and everything, right? And a big part of it is like they go to different places. The stories, you got 2 different spots where the Christmas story is. I want to say Luke and Matthew, but they're different. They go to different places. And one of the things that Red Pen Logic said was, no, just because they don't mention each other doesn't mean that didn't, that it's, you know, that it's they did both. They went back and forth 3 different or like 4 different times or something in order to make it make sense, because they each say they went to different places or in a different order and stuff. And he was like, no, we could just fix this by layering them on top of each other and just say they went both places and then came back and went to the other place just nonsensically. Whatever. This is so funny. Jesus.
this is just not being honest. Like, if Jesus didn't fulfill a single prophecy within its original context in which the prophecy was given, then that dude didn't fulfill any prophecies.
So why were people expecting a Messiah then? If there wasn't a dual, because I'm pretty sure the vast majority of the prophecies were speaking in terms of dual prophecy. So
Christian, are you giving away the ending? Okay, Adam. It's this, if I remember this one correctly, it never gets any better than this. Jake blew an hour of his life, an hour time, and learned nothing. It's already kind of feeling that way. I see why you're saying that, because that's absolutely how this is already sounding, because it seems like he forgot. Christian's yeah, my bad. I don't know why I even assumed that they would learn something that's stupid. I don't know what I'm doing over here. But yeah, that sounds about right, because he hasn't learned anything. He just like had to go back over something that he had just explained. And if I picked it up, holy shit, where are you? Because my brain is all over the place. Okay, I'm thinking 17,000 different things at every given moment, and I still caught it. So what the hell, dude?
If it's not, why were people expecting a Messiah in the first place?
Because they were coping, is what I told you before. Because the prophecies didn't come true. And because they didn't come true, they had to come up with alternative ways of reading the prophecies to say, oh, it actually will come true. It didn't fail. Just squint hard and turn your head this way, and then it's not a failed prophecy. That's what they were doing.
Holy shit.
It doesn't matter if people during the time of Jesus thought that dual prophecy was a real thing. The question is, what was intended by the author of the text? I have no reason to believe that the author of any of these prophecies had in mind that there would be multiple fulfillments, especially when a lot of them didn't get fulfilled even in the original context, and they'll never get fulfilled. Like Isaiah 14 contains a prophecy which it's literally impossible for it to be fulfilled. The time has already passed. It talks about how the Israelites are going to take the Babylonians captive and turn them into slaves. That never happened, and it never will happen, because the Babylonians don't exist anymore.
Ah, shoot. We're going to need, maybe after the U.S. like decimates some country on the other side, we can bring back that, Babylon, so they can make it all happen. They could do what they're trying to do, like what they were trying to do with Israel, and make the end times happen by forcing it to happen.
So
Wow, that is just
just want to summarize really quickly, because there were a couple of points made, and I want to make sure I'm representing you well here. So it was a coping mechanism kind of created by the Jews in later time periods for the hope of basically future salvation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And in some prophecies didn't come true, which would further establish that idea.
Yeah, not only did they not come true, like they didn't even come close to coming true. So like, for example, the book of Daniel is just a giant cope, right? So Daniel is writing in like 522 during the reign of King Darius. And he's like, hey, what gives? It's been 70 years. Jeremiah said after 70 years, everything would be restored. There'd be a king on the throne. We'd have a Levitical priest in the temple. And, God would never pluck us out of the land again. And so he's sitting there like something's wrong. And so he's reading the law of Moses. And in Leviticus 26, it says, it kind of theoretically, depending on what you think about it, it's foretelling the fact that the Israelites are going to be rebellious. And it says, if you do not...
Hold on a sec. So Dr. Gibbs said the prophets did not imagine that there were secondary fulfillments. Hell, even the early Jewish readers just thought that they knew better than the prophet. That's funny. Jesus Christ. Unbelievable.
Return to me, even after I've sent all these plagues among you for disobedience. I'll multiply your suffering by 7. So Daniel's like, oh, that's why the prophecy of Jeremiah didn't come true, because God is going to multiply our suffering by 7. So it's not going to be for 70 years. It's going to be for 490 years, which is a huge cope that whoever's writing this is engaging in. So he writes this big prophecy about after finally these 490 years, then finally the promise of God is going to come true. And there's going to be this eternal kingdom and a king on the throne and all this stuff. And then that didn't happen either. And you know what they did? They said, well, if we squint and look hard enough, we can just say that this is going to come true later.
4,000, it was times 10. We forgot about the times 10. It's, you know, once it turns into times 10 once you have to use the rock to look through the rock into the hat to be able to translate the plates. We forgot the rock makes it times 10. It's a whole thing. You don't understand.
The timeline was off. God changed his mind. Like there's no end to the amount of copes for Daniel's cope not coming true either. So like they were doing this with all the prophecies. They knew what the prophecies original meant, what the original intention of the prophecy was. Then when they didn't come true, they went into cope mode and said, well, they can't just fail. So let's find a new way to say that they're going to come true later.
Yeah. So,
and see, it's like I always have like an extra cynical take. I feel like a lot of times, and Dr. Kip, I feel like would know this, but like but none of the people that were writing this and the people that were reinterpreting it later, they were genuine believers of this stuff, because it sounds like what he's saying is that they were genuine believers, and that's why they were doing this cope stuff. But it always seems to me like too that they were also trying to figure out how to control people and get people to be able to do what they wanted them to do by using these scriptures and acting like they know what they mean. But I don't know, maybe that just came later. Is that just the, you know what I mean?
Daniel's prophecy. Are we referring to, what was this? Daniel 9?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So from my understanding of that one,
No,
it was
faith is useless as fuck. But all right, y'all, I got a wrapper there because I gotta head out. I gotta get something to eat. Because I'm starving. But seriously, thanks so much for hanging out. This was a fun one. Like I said, I want to try to do more like this because I enjoy going over these calls and stuff. They're kind of cool. Especially the ones like this where we're actually getting into the Old Testament, the prophecies, stuff like that. I find that really fascinating. But like I said, thanks again, everybody, for hanging out. If you haven't already, please finger that like button or whatever. I'd appreciate it. And it really does help when it comes to putting the content out to more people and everything. So if you don't mind, just bash that. You can bash that like button, whatever. But also, if you want to support the show, there's a bunch of different ways you can do that. They're all listed here, and you got all the links for them in the description. So if you want to check that out, if you want to help us out here, it's always much appreciated. But hey, the main thing though is to stay logical, stay loving, stay skeptical and compassionate, and we will see you next time.
Screwing off and playing round, making fun of Fundie clowns, oozing with contempt and hate. The goofball atheist punk apostate, punk apostate, punk apostate. We rage against machines of hate. Punk apostate, punk apostate. We're community advocates. We're community advocates.
Y'all are beautiful. Thanks again. Take it easy, y'all.